My name is Justin Arenstein, and I'm a South African-based investigative journalist. Well, Nairobi has developed into a bit of an innovation hub, and not just in terms of technology, but in how we deal with and manage knowledge. So we've chosen Kenya, and specifically Nairobi, as a bit of a laboratory for the rest of Africa. And we're trying to see how we can transform the way that media relates to wider society. And this week what we're trying to do is we're focusing on teaching people how to use new data sources in their reporting. And the idea is that we need to be able to show people that evidence-based reporting is possible even in underskilled or understaffed newsrooms. And the reason for that is we need to get away from this he said, she said kind of political commentary that passes for news in a lot of our newspapers. We need to try and give people information and hard facts that they can use to make life decisions on where they live, how they vote, and how they kind of dispose of their time. Journalists tend to be narrative animals. We tend to come from a tradition where we haven't really kind of had close brushes with statistics or with large data sets. So the idea is to show people that it's not as intimidating as you'd assume. And then secondly, for those who've already got a bit of skill, is to give them just enough expertise that they can go away and they can actually start building some of these new exciting platforms. So best win, I hope to see some mobile-based apps or web-based utility news services being produced. This is the first fully-fledged data journalism bootcamp in Africa. The whole of Africa, not just sub-Saharan Africa. And the idea is that we're going to take the parts that work really well here, and we're going to finesse the other parts, and we're then going to roll this out continentally. Already, just based on the first session we had with media owners and other senior stakeholders this morning, we've had requests from Zimbabwe and also from probably the continent's largest technology conference, Highway Africa, who've asked us to come and duplicate the entire process, all 4 days, in September at the Pan-African gathering. So it's just an indication that this is a model that can scale, and that has been driven by Kenyans, primarily kind of as the thought leaders behind this process. People think that it's a new discipline and that there's a new science involved. There's not. Journalists have always worked with data. We just haven't worked with the massive amounts of data that are now available. So in the past it came to us in small samples or in static versions, as a PDF or as a statement or even as a book. Now with the new technologies that are available, we're able to get real-time data in phenomenally large samples. So we're able to take an entire census of an entire country and analyze and crunch that for a report for tomorrow's news. In the past, that was never possible. So the breakthroughs have been in terms of real-time or near real-time reportage, our ability to, as journalists, do the analysis ourselves. Previously, we'd have to rely on experts. And those are the only real changes. It's made us more streamlined and more efficient at what we do. What is changing is what we're able to do with that data. In the past, we would simply have reported it and probably have bored our audiences. So every year in any media tradition, we all dedicate massive amounts of space in our newspapers, television, radio, to the national budget and what it means to normal people. But people don't really engage because it's written in an inaccessible, dense format. This new technology, it enables us to personalize it by saying, who are you as a reader? And now we'll tell you in your life how much tax you're going to be paying, what the impacts will be, what the specific services will be in your neighborhood as a result of the budget. So it gives people far more informed insight, firstly into what government's doing with their own wealth, with the money that we pay as taxes, and secondly how they can start in a realistic way shaping their public policy. It's very, very powerful. It's almost as powerful in some ways as the transition from hand-scripted manuscripts, as in Bibles, to mass-produced books. It's giving people that scale of access to new forms of information. And information, after all, is not entertainment. It's the raw kind of fuel that we use to make decisions. So it's got to be actionable information.